All right. Before starting the sermon, let us observe 5 precepts. So please join your palms and recite Namo Tassa to observe 5 precepts. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Saranāgamaṇaṃ sampunnaṃ. Pānātipātā vēramaṇī sikkhapaдаṃ samādhiyāmi. Adinādānā vēramaṇī sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi. Kāmesu miccācārā vēramaṇī sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi. Musāvādā vēramaṇī sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi. Surāmēraya majjapamādaṭṭhānā vēramaṇī sikkhapadaṃ samādhiyāmi. Tisaranena saddhiṃ pañcasīlaṃ dhammaṃ sādhukaṃ surakkitaṃ kattvā appamādena sampādē tabbhaṃ. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully, perfectly enlightened One. Dear pious children, faithful devotees, today you have gathered here to participate for the monthly English Dhamma Talk. You know that it is one of the most important days in Buddhist calendar. We can say the second most important day. What is the most important day in Buddhist calendar? That is Vesak full moon day. Vesak full moon day, the full moon day in the month of May. In that day, we celebrate the 3 major life events of the Buddha: birth, enlightenment, and also his passing away. That is in the month of May. Now it is June. In this month, on the full moon day, we also celebrate another very important event in Buddhist history. What is that? That is the day Sri Lanka received Buddhism long time ago, more than 2000 years ago. Arahant Mahamahinda Thero from India, he brought Buddhism to Sri Lanka together with some other members in a group. That is the day we received Buddhism. Therefore, on full moon day in the month of June, we commemorate, we celebrate this important event. That is why today we can learn the teachings of the Buddha, because we received Buddhism in the past, brought by Arahant Mahinda, and it was established and spread in Sri Lanka, so we could preserve the teachings of the Buddha, and up to today. And even today, therefore, we can listen to the teachings of the Buddha. Therefore, we have monks, and also we have the teachings. So we can still learn the teachings of the Buddha and apply them into our life and lead a life, a righteous life, according to the teachings of the Buddha. That is why this day, the full moon day of June, is really, really important. So today I decided to teach you on one of the discourses of the Buddha. Based on this discourse, I'm going to explain certain things, certain facts, which are rare according to the Buddha's teaching. Therefore, please pay proper attention and learn these 10 rare things and try to give value to them. If you have something rare, if you have something which is not common, then what should we do? We should not destroy such things. We should not abandon such things. We should not ignore such things. We should give some value to them, and we should think about them. Therefore, I'm going to tell you some important things, valuable things, rare things that we can experience, that we can have. Therefore, please listen carefully, attentively, giving proper attention to the teachings and to the teacher with respect. That is how you listen. That is how you listen. When you listen in that manner, then you can remember. Then you can remember. When you can remember, you can apply. You can apply them into your everyday life. Therefore, listening carefully and attentively is very important, and remembering is also important. What you listen should be remembered. Otherwise, it is meaningless. Isn't that so? If you just listen and forget, then it is not good. We are not going to use it. Therefore, whenever we listen to good things, especially the teachings of the Buddha, we should remember them. And that is how we can apply them into our everyday life. If we don't apply them into our everyday life, it is meaningless. Isn't that so? For example, when we have a sickness, what do? We go to a doctor, right? Then a doctor may prescribe some medicine. Doctor may ask us to buy some medicine. Then we may buy the medicine. And we buy the medicine and bring the medicine home, but we don't take the medicine. Just keep them in a drawer, or just leave them on the table or in a basket somewhere. Then can we recover from the sickness? No. We should take the medicine according to the prescriptions. Isn't that so? According to the advice of the doctor. Then only we can recover from the sickness. That is the way to benefit from the doctor's guidelines, doctor's medicine. In the same manner, when we listen to the teachings of the Buddha, that is what we should do. We should not ignore. We should not abandon. We should not just throw them away. Instead, we should remember and apply them. So we can recover. We can make use of the teachings of the Buddha and get benefits. All right? Therefore, it is very important before listening to the teachings of the Buddha. Therefore, please attentively listen to these 10 rare things, so that you can understand they are really, really rare, and you can understand. I'm going to tell you the obstacles to those rare things, and also supportive conditions to those rare things. All right, then you can understand about them and you can be successful in this life when you know them really well. So what are those 10 things? The first one is, the Buddha says these 10 things are pleasant to our senses. Pleasant to our senses, and they are enjoyable and also charming in the world. They are pleasant to our senses, enjoyable and charming to the world. That is why they are rare. So what are those 10 things? The first one is wealth. Wealth is rare, isn't that so? Not everybody is having wealth. There are so many poor people in this world. Therefore, having wealth is a rare thing. That is the first one. Then the second one is good health. Isn't that so? Good health is a rare thing. If you are in good health, in good condition, you should be thankful. You should be thankful. Because there are so many people suffering from various kinds of sicknesses, various kinds of diseases. Therefore, having good health is a rare thing. There are some people I have heard of. They said, I have not seen a doctor for years. There are some people like that. I have not taken even a paracetamol for years. Some people there are some people because they are so blessed with good health. They are so blessed with this rare thing. All right. So therefore, having good health is a rare thing. That is the second one. Then the third one is virtues. Virtues. Not many people practice virtues, good qualities. In this world, many people are not virtuous. They prefer to do unwholesome deeds, evil deeds. But for our Buddhist children, we encourage you to be virtuous. Some people may not see the importance of being virtuous. They may say it is just meaningless thing. It is not worthy to be virtuous. But when we look into the Buddha's teachings, Buddha says it is really, really important to be virtuous, and also there are not many people virtuous. Therefore, this is also one of the rare things. What is it? Being virtuous. Virtue is the third rare thing in the world. And a holy life. Holy life is a really, really rare thing, isn't that so? Not many people practice a holy life. Not many people want to become a monk. Isn't that so? If you look into thousands of people, there might be just one. That is how it is. So practicing a holy life, leading a holy life, leading a virtuous life is also a rare thing. Therefore, a holy life is a rare thing. And friends, good friends, are really, really rare. It is very important to be considered. We cannot find good friends everywhere, all the time. We only find few good friends in our life. There may be so many people in school or in the society. There may be so many people, hundreds of thousands of people. But among them, all of them are not going to be good friends. Isn't that so? In your class, there may be many students, but you may have just one or two good friends. Isn't that so? Yes. Therefore, the Buddha says, good friends are really, really rare. It is also a rare thing in this world. And much learning is a rare thing. Not many people learn so much. Many people are so lazy to learn. Or many people are not able to study, learn in this world. If you are going to a good school, if you are blessed with such abilities and possibilities and facilities, please be thankful. All right? Because there are so many people they don't have this rare thing, which is learning. Learning is also a rare thing, much learning, much learning. And wisdom, it is also one of the rare things. Not many people have wisdom. Not many people have wisdoms. And the teachings of the Buddha is a rare thing. The Buddha says, the arising of the Buddha and also his teachings, they are rare things in this world. We are so blissful because we are having this blissful human life in an era of the Lord Buddha. And also we can listen to his teachings. One of the reasons that we are able to listen to the Buddha's teachings, Arahat Mahinda, he brought Buddhism to Sri Lanka on the full moon day in this month, in many years ago, more than 2000 years ago. Therefore, the teachings are available, and of course, your parents bring you to the temple and send you to Sunday schools, and therefore, you have access to the teachings of the Buddha. Therefore, you should use good use of them. You should make sure that you use them properly and get benefits, because it is a rare thing. In this world, there are so many people, over 8 billion people. Only less people can listen to the teachings of the Buddha. Other people are not so aware of it. Some people even don't know about the name of the Buddha. All right. Therefore, you are so blessed that you are having the teachings of the Buddha, and you have this access to the teachings of the Buddha. Therefore, you can be happy about it. Teachings of the Buddha. And also, heavenly bliss is another thing, and last thing, which is rare in this world. It is because after death, not many people get reborn in heavenly world. Why is it so? It is so, to be born in a heavenly realm, people must do wholesome deeds, good actions. They should be virtuous, they should be generous, they should also practice meditation. That is how people can be reborn in heavenly realms, heavenly world. Do you know, many people don't perform such things in this world, even though they have human lives. They don't perform good deeds. Isn't that so? Yes. So when people don't perform much wholesome deeds, then what happens? It becomes a rare thing to be born in a heavenly realm. That is why the Buddha says heavenly bliss is a rare thing. It is because many people who come to this human world, they prefer to perform unwholesome deeds. Sometimes people perform evil deeds, unwholesome deeds, just to make them happy, just for fun. Isn't that so? There are some people who kill innocent animals just for fun. Can you imagine? There are such people because they have not listened to the teachings of the Buddha. If someone has listened to the teachings of the Buddha and take them seriously, they will not harm other beings. They will be so compassionate and kind towards other animals, and they may not perform unwholesome deeds. All right? Therefore, this is also one of the rare things, heavenly bliss. It is rare because people do a lot of bad things. People do a lot of unwholesome things. People are lazy to do good deeds, wholesome deeds, meritorious deeds. Sometimes many people are so lazy even to go to temples. Isn't that so? Yes. They may bring so many excuses not to go to temples. I have this thing, I have that thing. So many excuses. Isn't that so? Even to take part in wholesome deeds, generous actions, they give lots of excuses. That is how heavenly bliss becomes a rare thing. All right, so those are the 10 rare things in this world. So I'm going to explain to you one by one. The first one is laziness. Laziness. I'm going to first of all, I'm going to explain the obstacles or barriers to those 10 rare things. So the first one is wealth. And what is the obstacle for wealth? Laziness. Isn't that so? If people are so lazy, can they earn money? If your parents are really, really lazy, they don't want to work, they just want to sleep and stay in the house being so lazy, can they earn money? Can they provide you good conditions? Can they support you? Can they provide you whatever needs you need? They cannot. But you are so lucky. Your parents are hardworking, really, really hardworking. So you can have a nice, beautiful, a pleasant life. Isn't that so? But there are some people, they are so lazy. They don't want to work. That is why sometimes you can see homeless people. Isn't that so? Outside somewhere, sleeping in front of ship or in front of shops, or just going to malls and stretching their hands, begging some money. There are some people like that. They find it is the easy way to money. But they are so homeless. It is because laziness. If you want to have wealth, you shouldn't be lazy. If you read some biographies of wealthy people, you can imagine what time they wake up, what time they go to sleep, how hard they work. Isn't that so? So that is how it is. To be successful in wealth, you shouldn't be lazy. That is the obstacle for being lazy. That is the obstacle for being lazy. That is the barrier for the wealth. That is the barrier for the wealth. Then the second one, beauty. Beauty. There are so many things which can be considered as obstacles. Among those, decorating and ornamenting oneself is an obstacle. Some people may misunderstood. Maybe they have this idea, as Buddhists, we should not wear nice clothes. Some people wrongly think in that way. It is totally wrong. It is totally wrong. Therefore, we should wear nice clothes. We should wear nice jewelries, nice ornaments. It is all right to wear nice things. But at the same time, we should be wise enough to choose the occasions. In which occasion, what should be worn? Isn't that so? When we go to certain places, certain clothes may not be suitable. When you go to certain occasions, events, certain decorations, certain ornaments may not be suitable. Therefore, we should be wise enough to understand what is suitable, what is right, what is good. So, this is an obstacle, not wearing nice clothes and ornaments, to beauty. Isn't that so? When we wear nice clothes, it is so beautiful. We can see sometimes nice, beautiful young girls and boys wearing so nicely, neatly, cleanly. Therefore, you should understand what is the obstacle for being beauty. Having a beauty must, being beauty. Therefore, that is the second one. Second one. Then the third one is, third rare thing is good health. And what is the obstacle for good health? Doing wrong things, doing wrong actions. Among those, consuming food in wrong manner. Consuming food in wrong manner is a obstacle to good health. If you eat too much junk food, then what would happen? Then you will be sick. If you eat too much sweet, then what would happen? It is also not good for our health, isn't that so? It is not. Then if you eat too much deep fried food, junk food, then it affects on our health. And also, if you are not active, if you don't perform sports, if you don't do some sports, actions, activities, it also affects on our good health. Isn't that so? Yes, therefore, we should consume good food. We should avoid taking unhealthy food. And we should not be lazy. We should be active. Especially as young children, you should be more active. And also, we should avoid doing unvirtuous actions. For example, if you are fighting with others, then what would happen? You may get injured. Then it affects on your health, isn't that so? There are some people, they're fighting with others and make injuries to others, even kill others. Sometimes we see on TV, on news, each other fighting, and then they get injured. So it affects on the health. Sometimes people take drugs, intoxicating drugs. Then what would happen? It also affects on health, isn't that so? They become really, really weak, and the organs inside the body get destroyed because of various kinds of drugs. Can you imagine? So there are some people like that. So those are some of the obstacles, some of the barriers for good health. Therefore, we should avoid them. Eating too much is not a good practice. Eating too little is also not a good practice. Therefore, we should eat at proper time and proper amount. All right? So we can be healthy. We can be healthy. And also we should perform good deeds. If we perform unwholesome deeds, it affects on our health as well. Because when we perform unwholesome deeds, in this life we do something to affect on our health, and at the same time we accumulate some unwholesome karma. Unwholesome karma. So sometimes people get sick due to their karmic energy, which they bring from previous lives. So it is very important to perform good actions, wholesome actions, and think about the food that we consume. All right? Okay. And the fourth one is virtues. Virtues. So what is the obstacle for virtue? Evil friends. Isn't that so? Evil friends, bad friends. When we have bad friends, we get influenced. Sometimes bad friends may come and say, hey, let's go and do this thing and that thing. Sometimes we heard some stories. At late night, some bad friends come and take some children out, teenagers. Then, night time, they face lots of problems outside. Sometimes they go racing, car racing, then make accidents, then end up in hospitals. You see? Sometimes they come and bring you to do some bad things at night. Sometimes go for drugs. There are some people like that. Bad friends. Sometimes people do bad things being influenced by unwholesome, evil friends. And they do bad things because their friends do. Sometimes they come and question parents. If my friends can do, why can't I do? Sometimes there are such children. Therefore, you should be wise enough. There may be some friends doing bad things, unwholesome deeds, unwholesome actions, unethical actions. But you should always be guided by your parents. You always should be guided by your parents to do good things. So you can do instead good things without doing bad things. Therefore, for a virtuous life, that is the obstacle, bad friends. Then we should be able to recognize who are the good friends and who are the bad friends. There are some bad friends. They always take you to do bad things, unwholesome things, unvirtuous things. And there may be some friends, they are there only for benefits. There are some people like that. They only want benefits from you, nothing else. They just come and associate you to get benefits. Therefore, you should be wise enough to recognize, understand what kind of person he or she is. If you don't understand them, recognize them, then they may misuse you. They may misuse your kindness. They may misuse your generosity. Isn't that so? There are some people like that. They just come and take only. They just take only. So the Buddha says such people are not good friends to be associated with. And they always take you for unwholesome actions. They may take you to go here and there in improper times. For example, if it is too late, then is it good to go out? No. If it is too late, then it is not that good to go out, because night time lots of bad people come out. Because why? Daytime there are so many people, so they cannot do wrong actions, bad actions. Instead, what they do, they just hide in the daytime, and night time they come out and sometimes go for shoplifting, stealing cars, taking drugs, selling drugs. All those bad actions, most of the time they do at late night. Therefore, at wrong times we shouldn't be in wrong places. Therefore, we should be wise enough to understand what is right time to be in certain places. But there are some people, they just say, let's go here and there, let's go to that place, this place. They may just say such things and take you to wrong places. And later on, you will face problems. There are so many people, they face problems because of such actions. That is, those are the bad friends who take you out at improper time, who take you for drugs, who take you for unethical, unwholesome, unvirtuous actions. They are bad friends. If someone asks you to go for somewhere or to do something unwholesome, unethical, please avoid. Please avoid, because it is a obstacle for a virtuous life. It is an obstacle for a virtuous life. Do you know this monk Devadatta in the time of the Buddha? He did lots of unwholesome deeds. He had a friend, Prince Ajasatta. So this monk Devadatta guided Ajasatta, the prince. Then Prince Ajasatta listened to the advices, guidelines of this monk Devadatta. Even though he was a monk, he did bad things. Sometimes it can happen. It doesn't matter what kind of person you are. What matters is what kind of mental status you have. Sometimes, sometimes they may have evil status. So, this monk Devadatta, he told bad things to Prince Ajasatta. Therefore, he was so greedy for the power. So what did he do? He just killed his father just to take the kingdom. Can you imagine? To perform that kind of gravest, unwholesome, evil deeds. That is because of the influence of bad friends. And also, this monk Devadatta one day sent some archers to kill the Buddha. So he wanted to kill the Buddha and take power in the Buddhist dispensaries, and he wanted to become the leader. So where did he find the archers? He went to this prince, Ajasatta. Kings and princes, they have archers, right? So he got these people from the Ajasatta. They were helping each other to do unwholesome deeds. Look at these people being influenced by unwholesome friends. People do unwholesome actions. All right. So that is how it is. Therefore, please avoid associations of unwholesomeness. Sometimes there may be some friends, you may recognize them as unwholesome friends. Then in your mind, you can talk to them, it's all right. But in your mind, you should know that they are unwholesome ones, and I should keep myself safe. All right. So that is how we should do. That is how we should keep ourselves in a safe place. That is how we can also understand this barrier of a virtuous life. The next one is a holy life. To perform or to practice a holy life. What is the obstacle? Obstacle is having uncontrolled faculties. Not only for a holy life, even for a lay life, it is important to have controlled faculties. Sometimes there are people, they have no control over senses. What are the senses? Eyes, ears, nose, mouth, the skin, the body. These are the sense faculties. When we don't have control over them, then we will do some other things just to gratify them, just to please them. Sometimes, what happens when you don't have control over your eyes? You want to keep watching non-stop. Movies or cartoons or playing games. Isn't that so? Why it is so? It is so because you have no control over your senses. You don't know what the limit is. Isn't that so? Sometimes when you start eating junk food, then you don't know what time to stop. You keep eating. Why? You don't have control over your mouth. Understand? Okay. Therefore, even listening to music or some other things, therefore, it is all right to please our senses. It is a blissful thing as a lay person, but we should know the limit. When you do not know the limit, then we are going to make some other bad things for our life. All right. Therefore, that is the obstacle for a holy life, a controlled life. Therefore, we must have a controlled life. We must know what the limit is for certain things. All right. Okay. Then the next one is friends, good friends. What is the obstacle for good friends? Lying. Lying is not a good practice for a good relationship. Isn't that so? If we have good friends, we should not lie. If you you may have good friends at school, and you also have good friends at home, your family. Your parents are really good friends to be good friends. Therefore, what shouldn't we do? We shouldn't lie. Do you lie sometimes to your parents? I don't think so. I don't think so. Therefore, don't lie. Lying is not a good practice for a lying is not a good practice for a good relationship, good friendship, for good husband and wife, for children and parents, teachers and students, for all these relationships. Lying is not a good thing. If you lie, then what would happen? They may not believe you afterwards. If they understand, if they recognize that you are lying or you lied, then next time they may not believe you. They may not trust you. Have you heard of that story of the boy who lied to the village saying, tiger is coming, tiger is coming, tiger is coming? Do you know the story? There was one boy. He was playing with the villagers. How did he play? He wanted to make fun. One day, he said, tiger is coming, tiger is coming, tiger is coming. Then all the villagers came out and they were looking for the tiger. They were afraid. They were afraid. But what happened? There was no tiger. The boy just lied. That was the first day. So the boy was so happy because all the people were searching for the tiger. Then he was somewhere laughing at those people. they were laughing. He was laughing. Then second day also he did the same. Third day also he did the same. Now fourth day he said, tiger is coming, tiger is coming, tiger is coming. Then the villagers didn't want to believe. Why? He lied. He cheated them for several times. At that time, nobody came. All the villagers they mind their own business. They didn't go to the boy. But what had happened? For real, the tiger has come. For real, the tiger has come, and there, at that occasion, there was nobody to save the boy. He had to face the danger. Look at the consequences of lying. Therefore, lying is not a good thing. Lying is an obstacle for a good relationship, good friendship. That is the sixth one. Then the next one is much learning. Much learning. What is the obstacle for much learning? Not reciting or not reading. How can we learn? By reading, by listening. Isn't that so? That is how we learn. But if you don't read, if you don't listen, if you don't pay attention, then that's an obstacle. But I can see our children are really, really good. They are so happy to read. Most of the time I see most of the children are reading. That is how we learn spellings. That is how we learn how to write. That is how we learn new things. That is how we gain new things about the world. We can learn lots of things by reading and also listening, by reciting. So that is how we gain knowledge. If you don't read, you don't learn. All right? Therefore, please learn new things. Don't be lazy to learn. When we learn, then we learn many things. When we read a good book, we learn a lot of things. It is not just a story. In that story, we learn a lot of things. We learn how to write. We learn spellings. We learn sometimes good morals. We learn how to write. So many things, so many benefits we can gain, we can get by reciting or reading. Then to wisdom. What's the obstacle for the wisdom? The obstacle for the wisdom is not applying or not listening or not questioning. Questioning is really important to wisdom. To gain wisdom, we must question. If we don't question, if we just believe blindly, then it is not a good thing. We cannot gain good things. Therefore, You should question certain things if you don't understand. That is how you gain wisdom. And also, you should apply them. You should apply them. Especially the teaching. What is the teaching? What is the obstacle for the teaching? Not applying or not reflecting. Applying is very important. For example, if we learn about the 5 precepts, just observing them is not enough. We should apply. If we observe the precept not to kill, observing is not enough. We should avoid killing. If you observe the precept of not lying, it is not enough. We should stop lying, stealing, and all those things. If we learn something, if we know something, if we understand something, we also should apply. That is how we get access to the teachings. And for a heavenly life, as I explained before, leading a virtuous life. Not leading a virtuous life is the obstacle for the heavenly bliss. If you do lots of bad things, unethical actions, if you don't share, if you don't perform charity, then those are the obstacles for the heavenly bliss. Therefore, you shouldn't be perform unwholesome actions. You shouldn't be greedy. You should be generous. You should practice or lead an ethical life. So these are the things. These are the 10 things and their obstacles. And in short, now I'm going to tell you the same thing and supportive conditions. The first one is laziness. The first one is wealth, actually. Then what is the supportive condition for the wealth? Not being lazy. Not being lazy. In short, I will tell you a story. Our Buddha, as the Bodhisattva in one of his previous lives, he was born as a wealthy merchant, and he was a wise one. He was a wise one, and one day he was walking somewhere. Then he saw a dead mouse. Then he said, if someone sees this dead mouse today, that person is going to be a rich one, wealthy person. Then there was there was a person, a poor one. Then he heard this sentence. Then he said, this person is not just a person. He is a wealthy one. He is a wise one. He must not be saying this without meanings. So what did he do? He grabbed this dead mouse. Then he was walking. Then he went to the palace. It was a full moon day. It is a custom in ancient people. They don't perform unwholesome deeds on full moon day. That is why we are following the same custom to perform, observe, seal, and go to temple. We do these things following this ancient custom, so that people, the servant in the palace, they didn't have meat because it was a full moon day. People didn't go for killing. So the servant couldn't give meat to the cat in the palace. There was a cat in the palace. So this man with that dead mouse went to the palace and sold that dead mouse to the servants of the palace. So they bought it and gave to the cat, and they gave some money also. Afterward, he went out and he bought a pot and also some jaggery, kind of candy. He bought this palm candy. Then he went. Then on the way, he filled this pot with water, drinking water, having water pot and this jaggery. He went. Then on the way, he met some gardeners who pick up flowers. Then he offered this candy, jaggery, and water to those people. They were so thirsty. They were coming out from the jungle after picking up flowers. So they were so happy. after eating jaggery and drinking water. So what did they do? They gave him some flowers to this poor man. So he got these flowers and he went, and they also gave a flower tree which was not fully harvested. There were some flowers. So they let him to pick up the flowers. So he picked up the flowers, and together with other flowers, he got all the flowers and went and sold the flowers. And he could get some money. So this with this money, then he went and he buy some other jaggery, and he fill up with water. He went there. Then he also, in this way, in the process, he was meeting some other people. Then there was a heavy rain. One day it was a rain heavily. Then in the garden of the king, the branches and leaves fallen into the garden. The gardener couldn't clean them in that day because there was so much. So this man went there and told him, I can clean the garden, but you should give me these broken branches, the wood. So he agreed, okay, if you can help me to clean the garden, I can give you. So he cleaned the garden, and he was able to get the wood. So he took this wood, and having a heap of wood, he was there. Then some people came, those people who make the pots. They couldn't find woods to burn these pots. So they came, and this man could sell the woods for those people. So they bought all the woods, and he could earn some more money. So he bought some other pots, and in this way he could increase his money. Then he had some other friends. Then he had good connections with the friends. And also in this way, there were some people, postmen, they were coming to the area, and this news came to him. So he went to those people who cut grass, and he bought some grass, and he was there and sold to those postmen. Then he could gain some more money. In this way, then finally, he came to know that there is a ship coming to the port together with some goods. So he, together with money, he went there and he bought the whole ship with the goods, and he gave some advance, and he said, at the last day I will give the other money. So he bought all the money. Then later, other merchants, other businessmen came to the ship. Then the main merchant in the ship, he said, one big merchant came and bought all the goods in the ship. So the other merchants, other salesmen, they went to see that person. Then he said, okay, I can give you the goods, but you guys should give me 2,000 in advance. So in this way, they gave some money in advance. So he gave the goods. In this way, he could earn lots of money. He could earn lots of money, and he became a wealthy person. So he wanted to, now he was thinking, now I am a wealthy person. Why? Because I listened to that person who said, if someone grabbed this dead mouse, he is going to be a rich one, wealthy person. So he wanted to show his gratitude. So he went there to the house of that person. Then he told him the story. Then he was so impressed. And then he proposed his daughter to this man. Then he could gain more money, because the other businessman, other rich man, he had so much money. So when he got married to the daughter of that man, he could get some more money. So he became the richest person in the city. So can you see here, he was not lazy, he was so wise, he was so friendly with other people. He had these so many qualities. With these qualities, he became a wealthy person. So that is how it is. Therefore, we should have these qualities. That is how we can lead a life to be a successful one. Therefore, the second one is decorating, arranging or wearing nice clothes. There were some princes in the time of the Buddha. Then Buddha said, when they came to the Buddha, then Buddha said, monks, look at those princes. They are so beautiful, wearing nice clothes, clean clothes. They are, if you have not seen the divine beings, look at those princes. They are just like divine beings. Therefore, wearing good clothes is really, really important. Decorating, ornamenting oneself is a good practice to be beautimous. And also, doing good things for the good health, as I explained before. One day, there was this King Kosala. He was so addicted to food, he couldn't control. He ate a lot of rice, and he was so fat. He had a big tummy. So he came to the Buddha and he explained, now I am weak, this problem and that problem. Then Buddha said, if you control your food, you can reduce. Then Buddha guided him, gave some guidelines. So he followed the guidelines of the Buddha. In that manner, he could lose a lot of weight and he became thin. And later he came to the Buddha and said, expressed his gratitude to the Buddha. The Lord Buddha, now I feel so comfortable. I'm so light. I can perform lots of sports just like the young ones. I can run fast just like a horse. So in this way, he explained, because he could lose the weight after controlling his food. So that is how it is. For a good, healthy life, food is really matters. Very important thing. Therefore, we should understand what it is. And for a spiritual life, for a good life, we should have good friends. Good friends, there are various kind of friends. Helpmates. They are good friends. They are friends who can help us. They are good friends. And also, friends in happiness and woes. That means sad time and good time, happy time. They are there. But sometimes they are bad people. They are there only for happy times. When you face sad times, they just leave you. They are not good friends. But good friends are there for you in good times and also bad times. Most importantly, your parents, they never leave you in good times and also in the hard times. So that is how it is. And also the counseling friends, when you have difficult times, hard times, they may give some counseling, some advices to ease you, to make you comfortable. They are also good friends. And also sympathetic friends, just like your parents. They are so sympathetic for you. When you face some difficulties, they have these sympathetic thoughts and they come to you and help you. They are the good friends. We should associate these kind of good friends to lead a virtuous life. And also having controlled faculties is a good thing for a nice life, for a holy life, for a virtuous life as well. And also, as I explained before, for good friendship, not lying. Not lying is a good practice. Therefore, we shouldn't lie, speak the truth, speak nice words, lovely words, kind words. All right, so it is also very good for good friendships. And also for learning, reading and reciting, as I explained before, is a method or a supportive condition. Then for wisdom, listening to the teachings attentively, especially for the Buddha's teaching. It is very good that today you came to the temple and you can listen to the teachings of the Buddha, and these teachings are going to be helpful for a wise life, very good life, intelligent life. So it is also very good listening to the teachings of the Buddha. And also applying and reflecting is the supportive conditions for the teachings of the Buddha, and right behavior or right actions is the supportive condition for the heavenly bliss. Why? When you have right conducts or right actions, right deeds, then you are going to do good actions. You are going to protect the precepts. You are not going to break them. You are going to practice generosity. You are going to listen to the teachings of the Buddha. You are going to have good qualities, good human qualities. You are going to be virtuous, generous. You are going to share things with others without being greedy or stingy. So these good qualities will be there. When you have those good qualities are going to help you for heavenly bliss even after this life. So those are the 10 rare things and their obstacles and their supportive conditions. Therefore, please try to remember the 10 things, recall the 10 things, and be aware of the obstacles and be aware of the supportive conditions. So when you practice these 10 things in your life is going to be a balanced, successful, a happy life in this life and also afterwards. So that is today's Dhamma sermon. By listening to this sermon, by observing the precepts and listening to the sermon, we have accumulated merits. Let us share these merits with divine beings. May the divine beings rejoice and receive these merits, improve and extend their divine pleasures in return. May they provide you protection and guidance wherever it is needed, and may they also attain the bliss of Nibbana. Having these thoughts, let us share merits with divine beings. ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවා නාග මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිत्वा චිරං රක්ඛන්තු ශාසනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවා නාග මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිत्वा චිරං රක්ඛන්තු දේශනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවා නාග මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිत्वा චිරං රක්ඛන්තු මම් parang. Let us think of the departed relatives and share the merits with departed relatives. May our departed relatives go their way peacefully and happily. Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukitā hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukitā hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukitā hontu ñātayo. Let us make an aspiration. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satan samagamo hotu yava nibbana patiya. Idamme punyang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. All right. Today we